Welcome to Make Your Morning, everyone. So delighted to bring you another session today on Thursday, the 19th of November. So today I'm going to be talking to you about self-care. And this is a topic that really links in with a lot of the wellbeing work that I do and something that I'm really passionate about. I do believe that there's different perspectives on self-care and different meanings of what self-care really is. For me, all it is it's simply creating time to look after yourself, take care of yourself, make sure that you keep yourself in a good, topped up place. So often you may find that you've got so much going on that you're not making the space to relax and to do the exercise you might want to do, to nourish yourself in the way you want to nourish yourself. And I think I often hear from people that I'm working with and coaching with that, oh, I just don't have time for anything. So a big thing that I often recommend to people is to firstly become really aware of where is your time going. So if you don't have time for the things you want to do, you have to become really aware of what are you spending all your time on. Now, everybody's got lots of commitments in their life, whether it be work, whether it be family, whether it be maintaining your home to a standard that you want, looking after other people, lots and lots of different kind of commitments out in the community as well. But I always do say though, you can only pour from what's in your cup. So if you're trying to support and help everyone else, and actually you're running on empty, then it can be very difficult for you to do that. And I'll come to a point probably where your body will begin to give you clues that you're going to have to slow down. You may become ill, for example. You may get more aches and pains, more aches and pains than normal as well. So just being really aware that self-care doesn't have to be a 3 hour routine. There's some really quick ways that you can provide yourself with a little bit of self care. It can be something as simple as sitting down with a cup of tea and reading a book. It can be 5 minutes of focused breathing. It can be writing down some things you're grateful for. It can be putting on good tunes and having a good dance. It might be having a kind of shower and moisturising and all that sort of stuff and really looking after your body. It might be watching a comedy, something fun. There's lots of different ways that you can practice self-care. It could be that you're doing a little pamper session in the house, watching something funny on YouTube. It might be that you are just going for a walk, getting some fresh air. That might be part of your self-care routine. It's something at the moment that I'm finding really, really important to do, is get out in the fresh air as much as possible. I think something that relates to self-care and the time aspect though is setting boundaries. I think so often we put a lot of pressure on ourselves about what we should do, about saying yes to things. Really interesting idea that somebody shared with me a few years back was we often say yes to things in the distance, so up ahead in a few weeks' time, that maybe we wouldn't say yes to if it was tomorrow. So think about what you're being asked to do, and if it was being asked of you tomorrow, would you say yes? And if it's something that you feel isn't right for you to get involved with, can you explain that to the individual who's asking you to do it? Often people are a lot more understanding of us saying no than we kind of anticipate as well. Sometimes it's about pushing back on a deadline, is it that it can be extended as well? And I think it's interesting because when we often take a step back. So often we're kind of catapulted to take a step back in our life when something major happens. So if somebody gets ill, if we get ill, if we have grief in our life or something changes hugely. But I always say to people, take that step back or take that time to stop before something huge happens in your life to really assess where are you spending your time or where do you want to be spending your time as well? Who could be supporting you with some of the things that are maybe really absorbing your time as well? If it's in the work context, is there somebody in your team that could be helping you out with certain things in the home? Is a member of your family or somebody that you're close to able to help you out as well. I think sometimes putting things in context can be really important for your self-care as well. So bringing about that perspective, will whatever you're worrying about matter later today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year? Often we're sweating the small stuff, and actually a huge part of self-care can be putting things in context as well. And it isn't selfish to put yourself first, it's a necessity at times to put yourself at the top of the list so that you can be there to support other people, so that you do remain in good health as well, too. And a few things that I really enjoy in terms of my own self care, you'll know that I love meditation and mindfulness, reading. You'll know that I love exercise as well if you've listened to any of my sessions below. So going for a walk, running, doing some yoga, doing some stretches, doing some weights, that sort of exercise as well is really good for how I feel overall. Simple little things that I do during the day as well, in between calls, making sure that there's time in between calls for me to get a break and get outside. Really, really important. Speaking to family and friends can be a real boost as well. Keeping in touch with everyone. Lighting a candle and just reading a good book, having a wee hot chocolate as well can be great. And sometimes it can be as well for me making sure that you've got a nice clean and tidy space in the house, because that helps to kind of clear my mind and helps to make me feel more relaxed as well. So I'm not suggesting that you spend your time on self-care cleaning, but your space around you and your environment around you can really impact. So having good music, having nice scents going, and having things like nice photographs or memories or little quotes, that sort of thing as well can help put things in perspective as well. One of the things that I think sometimes we forget is to actually really prioritize fun. So doing the things that we really enjoy doing, having a good laugh, watching something that's funny, chatting to a friend about something that's funny that's happened to you, or sharing something funny meme or something like that can be really good to just lift spirits at the moment as well. So not underestimating fun, and what is it that you really, really enjoy doing as well. So there's a few ideas around self-care. There's lots of things if you kind of search on Google around self-care and ideas as well. And I'm going to put up a specific section on my website as well around self-care and some self-care ideas. And the biggest analogy I would give you is that you have to keep yourself topped up. So imagine that you've got this kind of metaphorical bucket that you kind of carry around with you every day. Think about all the things that you can do that can keep yourself topped up, and what are the things that you're doing that are maybe kind of dipping from that bucket as well. Be really kind to yourself right now. That will then kind of permeate out to other people as well. Self-care is not selfish, it's a necessity. It's not a nice to do, it's a need to do as well. And if you want to chat to me further about it, we'd love to have further conversations with you about it. So do get in touch with me through my website, karenbonner.com. Feel free to have a look at some of the other videos on this YouTube channel. There's lots of ideas for self-care as well. Take care, everyone, and have a